again.
Hey, Bree. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Yep. So what's the topic of today?
I don't know. You tell me.
We're going to talk about if black men and women can actually get along, regardless of what all these social podcasts or something on all these platforms about division, relationships,
controls and whatnot. That BS. Let's bring it. Come on.
Black History Month. Let's go.
On Black History Month.
All right. So, what point do you actually want to address first?
Gender roles versus just playing to each other's strengths and differences.
All right.
I think a lot of these single people that aren't in relationships, that aren't married, don't have kids, you having a lot of say-so on the people that do and actually experience it. And, you know, some guys will be like, oh, I want me a housewife, and some women will be like, oh, I just want my man to make $100,000 figure in a year. And have very unrealistic expectations on each other, and just for example, and I think that can divide us alone. That alone divides us.
Yeah.
Unrealistic expectations.
Well, you know, they say misery loves company, so they're going to do as much as they can to try to make you feel as single as possible. I really feel like gender roles as a whole do have some say-so within who plays what role in a relationship. So if I choose to pay 100% of the bills, where does that leave the woman at? If you are going to pay 100% of the bills,
as a man, right?
As a man, the woman in the relationship has to take some type of self-accountability on what she wants to do. Where's her money? Is she taking some type of
speaking financially only, or just?
Well, I was going to speak financially first, and then dive into other aspects of the partnership, such as the cleaning or the nurturing or whatever have you. And that also brings me to another point. I feel as though we as black people fail to confuse nurturing with trauma, and sometimes throw the two in the mix, because we sometimes don't even trust our own partners to confide into when it comes to our deepest trials and tribulations, or even secrets. So I'd rather go call my homeboy or my friend when I have a whole girlfriend, a whole wife, a whole fiance back at the house that's struggling to understand why I'm going through what I'm going through, but because I'm so withholding of whatever trauma I have going on, I have to not tell her, because I feel like I'm being soft and vulnerable. Versus, and I'm being taken advantage of that, versus a woman who will be so quick to gossip to her friends and spill all the tea, but can't hardly tell her man what he needs to do without making such a big ruckus and drama about it. Like, oh, he needs to be, stepping up and making $1,500,000. Are you putting him in a position to help him out? Are you giving him good tips? Are you telling him, hey, babe, go for this job? I don't think this is working out for you. Are you really actively listening to a partner? Or are you just throwing out suggestions and throwing them under the bus when it feels convenient? So I think nurturing and trauma really has to be divided rather than marginalized as something general that we make such a big concept. Like, we gotta stop making that such a big thing to just trauma dump people and only nurture when we feel like it, or the people that have the biggest red flags.
So I actually want to tag on to something that you said when you say, I would rather call up my homeboys than talk to my wife at home. And I think there are pros and cons to that. I feel like you brought up a con of that, because you should be able to talk to your wife. You should be able to feel vulnerable with the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Right.
I mean, even as a girlfriend, and y'all plan on growing together, like, you do need some not even some, you need to be vulnerable. That's very, very important. But I also think that when, you know, your homeboys, the people that you have friendships with, even for the women, you know, your friends should back up your significant other as well. You know, because when the girl is gossiping to her homegirls, they're probably like beating down on the man. Like, y'all should be.
You should be with him,
right?
You know he ain't got his shit together,
right? It shouldn't be like that. Like, true friendships, they support each other. They support anything that they do, and especially in the relationships that they want to grow. Yeah, they should be able to support each other. If I talk to my homegirl about a problem that I'm having, she needs to be like, okay, well, she needs to be reasonable. Like, he's doing this for you. You know, you can help him in this way, or just being supportive, and vice versa with the guys. Right. You know, your homeboys, because some men do need a male perspective outlook on things. But I think what's so messed up, especially in our generation, everybody just likes to shit talk to each other. Yep. And they don't care. They
humbling each other. Like, I'm gonna get back at you and tell you what you need to do.
Right.
And I ain't loving myself or getting myself together in aspects that I'm attacking you for.
Right. Like, they could be so bitter and single. Like, oh, my friend got a girlfriend. Yeah, she don't love you, cuz she don't want you.
She don't really want you like that. You know, you like, yeah.
What is that? Like, that's not a friend at all. And it's funny that we were just talking about friendships. What's included in friendship? Right. One of the most important things: undivided attention and feedback. Right. It's supportive.
I think that goes in with relationships as well.
Most definitely. But you know, a lot of people will date and just date. They won't become friends at first. They'll just date to date. Right. And I think that's right.
I also want to touch on one thing. Mm-hmm. You mentioned, you know, the aspect of what you say or do with the girlfriend and your boyfriend in the beginning, and I feel like people need to stop moving in with people that they have no compatibility or equal yokeship with, as I mentioned in the last video I did. And I think it's the fact that, you know, we so real quick to rush and trauma bond and really just find somebody because we're feeling lonely, that we get entangled into something that we shouldn't have any partaking with. Like, I see some of my friends out here. You know you shouldn't be with that girl and make her your baby mama. You know you shouldn't be dating that girl and saying, let's go half and half on an apartment. You just not man enough to do it yourself. And I'm looking right at some of y'all right now, like, y'all know who y'all are. So I think we just need to take more accountability and responsibility.